Hello everyone, welcome to another week's episode of Pretty Lonesome. I'm so excited to be back. I did an episode last week where I gave opinions on your guys' life problems, and it thrilled me to my core because finally you gave me material, okay? I loved doing last week's episode, but the number one complaint that I've been seeing is that I only answered 2 emails, which is so valid because I actually can't shut the fuck up apparently. So this week I'm going to do another episode because there was a billion jillion emails, and I'm finding this so fun because haha, it's not my problem. Sorry, I'm kidding, kind of. But this week I'm going to answer some more because I thought it was a fun episode. Let me know what you want next week. Without further ado. Okay, the first email I'm going to answer is a friendship one. So this girl wrote in to say this. Around 2 years ago, her friend group fell apart. She had a falling out with one of the girls that she wasn't that close to, and her best friend stayed with the girl she had a falling out with. They'd walk off mid-conversation and leave her sitting there. I brought it up, she apologized, but nothing changed. When I messaged again with how hurt I felt, she never replied. I tried again on her birthday, nothing. Then out of nowhere, a few months later, we made up, but never spoke about what happened. Then I found out she's been talking to my ex, which she never told me. I just want to say I don't even care about the boy like that. It was just the shock of her hiding it that got me. If she'd just spoken to me, I would have forgiven her in a heartbeat. I would have picked her over him every single time. It wasn't that deep, and I made it deeper than it had to be, which is on me. When I asked her, she got super defensive and lied. I vented to a few people to calm down, but it spiraled into a bigger thing. I admit that I didn't need to get that big, and I regret how I acted. She told me she needed space. I gave it to her, even though it hurt. Months passed, I apologized. She replied saying it was too soon, but never told me what I did wrong. She just shut me out and left me confused. I begged for answers, but got nothing. Eventually, I gave her a note, and she kissed her teeth and threw it at me. Still, I've been kind for some reason, maybe because I loved her and part of me still does. Oh my god. Friendship breakups are actually so nauseating. Fuck your friend. Oh, she's not your friend. I don't like her at all. Number one, there's a way to go about things if one of your friends is no longer someone that you mesh with. And what she did is not it. And number two, hiding the fact that she's speaking with your ex is really, really, really weird and really hurtful. And I'll tell you something, women or girls who pick boys or men over their female friendships, it's nothing to do with the girl in particular. It's nothing to do with your friendship in particular. It is only a character trait of her. Do you know what I mean? It's a problem with her character rather than anything that's super, super tempting about the guy or super dismissive about you. It's her. And she'll probably do it again. Not to you, because you're not going to let her, but to ever value a guy, let alone a fucking talking stage with a boy, over any of the feelings of your friends, even an ex-friend. And it's God, are there not more boys? She had to pick the one that you were with. Very weird. And a lot of the time, I think when girls do that, specifically speak to someone that you used to speak to, and look, not to incite more violence anywhere, but I do think it's weird. And I've had the experience before as well, where maybe I speak to a guy and a couple months later, there she is again, that one girl who's always right on my tail. And it's the obsession is with the girl, not the boy. And whether it's jealousy or envy or unrealized feelings or just insecurity, whatever it is, I think most of the time it's a validation thing. Especially if there's a level of jealousy between you and her, or her and you, I should say. And I've recently had this experience where it's okay, so this boy wanted you, now I have to make sure he also wants me. I have to make sure you and I are on the same level in people's eyes. And it's just this weird internal competition that they're in with you. But what I found really sad about your email was the way you said that you would have picked her over him any day and you would have forgiven her in a heartbeat. First of all, you shouldn't ever really have to be in that position to pick. But I get it. I've been there too, especially if your relationship with him wasn't, super deep, and it sounds like maybe it wasn't because you said you don't really care about him. And that's fine. Even if you didn't care about him, it's fine for it to still piss you off that she's speaking to him, because especially the fact that she hid it from you. Number one, she knows she's doing something wrong. She hid it. People don't hide things that are fine. But number two, you're just looking at her. You're not looking at the guy. You're not angry at the guy for fucking speaking to her. You're angry at him because it's her character that's at fault here. And you should stay away from this girl, in my opinion, because from what I've seen, people like that don't really change, because it's not her lack of enjoyment of her friendship with you that made her do that. It's something within herself, and I think it'll happen again probably in her life. And even if it doesn't, even if it's not a boy issue, I think that the way she treated you when she no longer wanted to be your friend is insane. There are so many better ways to end a friendship if you respect the person, and it sounds like she just has no respect for you. To not even give you a response when you messaged her asking, and then to have the nerve to turn it around. Oh my god, I'm inciting things. But to have the nerve to turn around to you and say she needs space and she's not ready to forgive you. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You were gracious, if anything. You were extremely gracious. You're better than me, babe. Fuck her. Don't like her. Don't think that's your friend. In fact, that's not your friend. Any girl who is capable of choosing a man over her friend is a different breed. They're deeply insecure people. And even if the boy thing isn't a problem again, say you become friends with her again and you don't even have another ex for her to speak to, so that's not going to come up again. It'll come up again. I promise you. If she's that insecure and that sneaky too, and that disrespectful of your feelings, and this is the content of her character, it'll come up. Promise. You shouldn't let people like that around you, in my opinion, because people like that watch you. I think it's an envy thing. I think this is kind of where my mind goes, is when I try and make sense of people who do this kind of shit, because I've also had the experience where I'll be speaking to a guy or whatever, maybe go on a date with him, and give it a couple months, there's that same fucking girl again speaking to him, and it's like, why am I always turning around and you're with the guy I was with like a month ago? She's always there. Next thing you know, she's fucking following him, and it's just like, oh my God, and she's stalking me, not the boys. And it's like, I think with people like that, if they're worried that they are somehow in their perception beneath you, whether that's in physical looks, in character, in charm, in personality, in IQ, in smarts, whatever it is that they're insecure about, and it doesn't matter because it's not your problem, but whatever it is, a very good way for people to prove to themselves that they are on par with you is to get the same guys as you. And I don't like that. And I think certain people, they will watch you and they will tear you down. And the reason, by the way, that she can't tell you what you did wrong when you ask her so clearly for clarity is because you didn't do anything wrong. Do you know what I mean? But you seem like a very tolerant and very sweet person, and I would recommend that you don't let someone fucking traumatize you out of being that person so early on in life. Keep it close to your chest. And even if you want to go back into a friendship with this girl, because it sounds like you're still at school, and I know what it's like when you're like, oh, I wouldn't be friends with them, but like, who am I going to sit with then? Because that was always my situation at school. I was like, I don't really like these people. I think they're kind of mean. I think they're kind of rude, and I don't really want to be hanging out with them. But like, my alternative is to eat lunch alone, so I guess I'm stuck. Because you are stuck in a small social pool at school, and chances are the people probably aren't the best people in the world, like most of the time. But if you do choose to continue your friendship with this girl, I would just say, go into it knowing who she is. Go into it knowing who you are, which is someone who would choose your friends over a boy, who would forgive them, who does swallow a little bit of pain. You make a lot of space for people, and you're very empathetic, and you're very emotionally intelligent, trying to understand what did you do wrong. And you're very patient. Don't let someone take that from you. You're so young. Because if you stay friends with this girl, 5 years down the line from now, you find someone who is worthy of those traits, and you'll think, well, the last time I was all of these things, I got violated. They didn't get me anywhere good. Like, don't let that happen. And if you want to be friends with her, that's fine. But just know who she is and be wise, Doesn't mean you can't hang out with these people. And you also said you've still been kind for some reason, maybe because I loved her and part of me still does. I love that. You're really cute. I had a really similar situation where one of my best friends decided to side with my ex after we broke up. And I've never been more hurt in my life. And like you, I asked her multiple times, what did I do wrong? Like, I would have let you be friends with my ex if I could have just still been your friend as well. I didn't ask you to pick a side. I just love you. But you seem to hate me now. It was like the most painful thing I've ever gone through, honestly. Like, that was the worst breakup of my life, not the one with my ex, the one with my best friend, because to an extent you expect a relationship to end, like you're young and it's whatever. You don't really expect your friendships to fuck you over, so it really hurts. And I'm sorry that you're going through that. And I think it's normal that you still love her and care about her and really want to know what you did wrong. If I can offer you any peace, just know that I don't think you did anything wrong. I think that everything that she is rejecting and everything that she is doing, it's all to do with her. And I don't think it's really to do with you. And the fact that she didn't give you space to be angry, and she never apologized, and then she needed space, and then you even gave her the space, don't torment yourself. It's fine if you still care about her and you still love her. I think that's really normal, especially if you're very empathetic. You can see where a lot of people are coming from, and you can see, oh, she did this because maybe she's insecure, or she did this because, I don't know, I'll forgive her. And that's a good way to be. Like, it doesn't always lead to the best circumstances, but I think that it's better than being like her. But you got to protect your heart a bit more, I think, from people like her, because it's very precious. And it's rare for people to be like that, by the way. There's not a lot of people that would say what you said. So I think that give yourself a bit of closure and allow yourself to accept that maybe right now in this phase of her life, she's not a very good person, or she's not a very good friend. And that doesn't mean she won't always be, but right now she's not, and it's not your fault. And that's my piece on that. Okay, next one. Okay, this one is about coming out. This one says, I'm 14 I'm a lesbian, but only 2 of my friends know. I'm scared to come out to my parents and other friends, even though I know they would be so supportive. Okay, I refrain from like talking about this online when it comes to like a specific email like that, because everybody's contexts when it comes to coming out are so different, and everyone's safety levels and acceptance levels and journeys are so different. So it's kind of hard to talk about it on a podcast and be like, oh, but you should come out. And then the next thing you know, the person takes the advice and it wasn't appropriate for their context, and maybe they didn't put themselves in the best position by doing that. That's always my fear when it comes to talking about this stuff. But let me just say this. I think I was also really scared to come out, so I know the feeling. I was petrified. You don't have to, is my thing. You're 14, you're so young. No one has to know anything about you. If you're super scared of saying something, you can just afford yourself the time. I know it feels weird to have a secret. I always hated that before I came out, that I had this like secret thing, and that my family didn't know me anymore and my friends didn't know me anymore. I was dealing with this thing by myself, a scary thing. I think the reason it can be really scary to come out as well is because, for me anyway, it was the first time I was going to have to admit to my parents that I'd even thought about sex. And that just felt gross to me. I came out to my mum when I was 16. And looking back, I think the scariest part of that for me was just like being very like vulnerable in front of someone. It wasn't even the fact that it was about being gay. I wasn't worried particularly that I was going to be rejected for that. I wasn't worried that anything bad was going to happen. It was more, I was just embarrassed. I didn't want to tell her like I've thought about my sexuality. I don't want to tell my mum I know about sexuality. Like, I don't even like that my mum knows that I have like a body sometimes. I'm like, no, I don't. I know she changed my diapers, but no, you can't prove it. Haha. Like, it's just a scary thing. And at 14, it is a huge topic that is so brand new. Like, not being gay, but sexuality. Like, it's something that you've just entered the world of. And don't rush yourself, I think. And the reason I'm not like diving into how scary it is to come out is because, again, like I said, everyone's context is super different. So it's kind of hard to talk about it on a podcast to so many different people. But as and when it feels right to do so, do it. Feeling like every single time it has to be a big conversation, I think is an exhausting part of coming out. I don't remember what TV show I was watching, but one time I remember watching the show and one of the lines, or was it Ellen DeGeneres? Oh my God, I don't know. But it was someone and they were like, oh, when did you come out? And the person went, which time? I came out to my male guy the other day. I came out to the guy at the grocery store like a month ago. And it's like, when you think about it like that, it's like, well, if you think about it, every time you tell someone you're gay for the rest of your life, you've technically come out to them. And it doesn't have to be such a big, scary thing. I think when you feel safe and comfortable to do so is when it's the right time. I think feeling comfortable with a wider conversation around it is important as well, and I think it'll help you to get there. For example, if you were to come out to your mum and she asked you a question like, how do you know? Or how does it make you feel? Or, is there someone that has, made you realize this, someone you have a crush on maybe? It's not just something you have to, blurt out. You should be comfortable talking about it, and there's no rush to get to that point. But if it does feel like heavy for some reason to keep it to yourself, and you do feel like you want to tell your parents and you do feel like you want to tell all your friends, then maybe ask your friends who do know for advice, or ask them to be there for the conversation. Or, walk into the kitchen and say, oh my God, mum, look at this girl. She's who I have a crush on. It doesn't have to be a sit down conversation. I think that was one of my biggest regrets. Not biggest regrets, but like when I came out to my dad, I only came out to him when I was 21, and I cornered the man in the hallway of my university house. He had visited me for the day at uni, and I had been meaning to tell him the whole day, and I could not spit it out. I was terrified to tell my dad that I was gay. Especially, I think I left it so long. Like, I had my first relationship with a girl at 15, and now I'm 21, and he's missed out on so much. And it got to the point where I was like, I just don't even know how to tell you. And I've made it into such a thing in my head. As he was walking out the door to leave, I knew I wasn't going to see him again for a while because I didn't live near home. And he had obviously visited me. And he was like halfway out the door, and I went, I actually have to do it now. It's now or never. And so I counted down to 3 in my head, which is, by the way, my best trick that I have is I go, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Once I allow myself to make the decision that I'm counting down to do something, I don't think I've ever then failed to do the thing. It's just the decision to do that in the first place. But once I get to 3, I go. So I went, okay, 1, 2, 3. I went, wait, I have to tell you something before you go. And he was like, what? And I was like, I know you've probably noticed by now, given the fact that, as far as you know, I'm 21 and I've never been in a relationship, but I don't like boys. As the devil would have it, met a boy like 2 months later. Fucking bastards. But that was how I came out to my dad. It doesn't have to be so awkward and so scary. You know, it can be a conversation, it can be slipped in, but I know it's scary, and you are 14 and there's no need to rush. If you don't feel ready, that's fine. You have so much time. No one's expecting to know this about you yet. Slow down. You know, you're fine. Okay, now this one is about being introverted. She said, as I get older, it feels harder to be accepted as an introvert. It feels like everything thrives on being social. When you quiet, there seems to be a situation where people think you're not socially apt or not likable enough to have friends around you. I can socialize, but I feel more comfortable being in my own space. I can make comfortable conversation easily and when I want, but in the back of my mind, it doesn't feel natural. It feels like I'm forcing it. I think it has something to do with how I just find myself not caring about people when I do not care for them yet. On a similar note, I also find it difficult to trust people and let them into my circle because I really give all of myself into the relationships that I care about, so it makes it difficult to get on with people these days. It's not like I don't have friends, I'm just a floater friend right now, and I spend a lot of my time by myself. I'm comfortable with it, but I do know how it may look to others, and I just don't understand why being alone gives you such a bad rep. Oh my God, I feel you, and I don't know why either. I think if you're someone who genuinely just enjoys being alone and doing shit by yourself, it is hard to shake the fear that it makes you look weird, but it's a blessed way to be. I'm the exact same way. But I found something that you said really interesting, so I'm going to circle back to that line. You said, I find it difficult to trust people and let them into my circle because I give all of myself to my relationships that I care about. I think when you're someone who just really enjoys one-on-one friendships that are more in-depth, it can be very boring to pretend to enjoy more acquaintance-like and arm-length friendships. I'm the same way. I just don't care. Like, I really just don't fucking care. And let me tell you, this made me think for a long time that I just didn't care and that I really was very introverted and really do just enjoy spending most of my time alone because I love my own company. Like you, I find so much joy and peace in being alone. I'm the most creative when I'm by myself. Most of the time, like, I am happy, I'm relaxed, I just don't care. I love being alone. However, like you, I also pour everything into a few very close friendships. And I've been this way my whole life. I've never had a friend group. Ever since primary school, I had one best friend at a time. And there's been like phases of my life defined by who my best friend was. And I've had, I would say, 4 of them throughout my life. Best friends that was my person for that time. And right now, I have a friend who I spend most of my time with. But before I met her, like you, I was at university. And the whole time when I was at university, I just was a floater friend. I didn't have a best friend. And my 2 closest friends were guys, which I loved them. I love them to this day. But it is different when it's a guy versus a girl. And we were all busy. We were at uni and we just like, you know, we'd have loads of fun together, but I didn't have one person. And I felt like I was just kind of on the outskirts of society almost. I never knew what was going on socially. I never knew where everyone was going, what everyone was talking about. Like, I just was kind of by myself and I enjoyed it. I didn't mind it, but I felt something was missing. And I feel like you might feel the same just by the fact that you wrote the email. I think it's fine to be alone and enjoy your own company, but also just the fact that you said you pour so much into your close relationships makes me think there is someone for you out there, but you haven't found them yet, and that's fine. I spent about 4 years without a physical best friend. Like, I always have Millie, but we're always long distance. And so I spent about 4 years at uni without a friend next to me. And then when I finally met T, I remembered how much energy I actually get from being around people that I like and pouring a lot of energy and a lot of myself into a friendship, for me, is on par with being alone. Either I'm alone or I'm with T. And they are like equally good to me in different times and different ways. I think you will find your person. I think there's a person for everyone. I think there's multiple. But if you are someone who just feels like you don't care about all this stuff, and every time you're talking to someone, you're thinking, yeah, okay, cool, but like, I don't care, and I'm not struggling to talk to you, I'm not socially awkward, I'm just bored. Don't let it trick you into thinking that you don't actually enjoy connection and friendships. For a long time, I thought I was introverted, and I am a little bit, but then when I met T, I realized, no, I am extroverted. I either flow with someone or they drain me. I don't really have a good middle ground, and it made me think I was a bit apathetic for a while, and it made me think that I was a bit weird and a bit of a loser, and it also made me insecure about, do people think I'm fucking weird? And I know how like it can feel so scary to be like, do I actually look like a freak? It doesn't matter what you look like to anyone. Also, probably no one cares. Probably no one's thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. It's what I always tell people when they're anxious as well. No one remembers that thing you said. No one remembers the fact that you like fell over. Like, no one cares. Everyone's too worried about the thing they said, you know? But when it comes to your own self-perception, don't start thinking that you're weird or unlikable or someone who just only thrives by themselves. If you are, that's fine. But also, maybe there's another person out there who you can do what you said, which is give so much of yourself to one or two people. And that, I think, is way more fulfilling than people who have massive friendship groups. I mean, everyone finds their joy in different places, and it's definitely hard to feel that way when you're at university, because everyone and their fucking mum has a friend group and goes out and does societies and clubs and stuff. And to be the person without that definitely can feel alienating. But the second you leave uni, you're going to be better off for the fact that you didn't worry so much about those things. And there's nothing wrong with staying in your comfort zone. Life is to be enjoyed. If you enjoy being alone, be alone. But keep your heart open. And don't stop talking to people altogether, because you never know when you're going to meet the person that clicks with you. I think picky people are the best people. And I know the feeling of like, oh my God, this shit is draining. I don't care about the weather. I don't care about how your day was. I don't care about like getting to know someone again, because this is so fucking exhausting. But I think when it happens, it happens. Okay, this next one is so funny, but so real. She said, there's this friend of mine who's pissing me off and I don't know how to tell her. For context, I'm not a genius in school because I'm lazy, but I procrastinate. And I've always had really bad anxiety, so that doesn't help. But this girl, she literally studies for hours, memorizes everything like a parrot, but she always starts crying or complaining after tests, but then proceeds to get an A. She always does it. So at first I was like, oh my God, am I too ahead of myself to say I did well for a B? But now it just makes me annoyed. Like, we get it. I'm not so close with her, but my closest friend in the group is. We tried to call her out on it, but she doesn't realize. I can't leave the group as I don't have many other friends, but this is making all my stress and school anxiety come back. It's been a problem since I was 5, and she knows about it. Oh my God. Okay, people like this at school used to drive me up a fucking wall, like a wall, and I know that you saying that will make you feel like, oh, do I sound envious of her? You don't sound envious of her, because I actually know the fucking pain you're going through, because that's so annoying. And I swear to you, these people, they know what they're doing. I think they know what they're doing. I had a girl in my year who was the exact same, drove me insane. I don't know if it's mean to say this, but it's such a dumb thing for them to do. And I think it just gives the same, it's compliment fishing, in my opinion. Like, you already, if she's getting an A, babe, you can't really get a better grade than that. Okay, maybe an A+, but like, it's like when someone really pretty posts a TikTok and they're like, can you guys tell me how I can fix my appearance? Like, but give me genuine like examples, like, am I ugly? And it's like, girl, you know the comments are gonna just like hype you up. And then you open the comment section and everyone's like, oh, maybe a nose job, maybe this, maybe that. And it makes me kind of giggle. I know that sounds so mean. It doesn't make me actually giggle, but it's like, you know, the person posting it wasn't insecure in the first place, so it's like okay to giggle a bit at like everyone taking the piss. I think it comes from two places. I think one is compliment fishing, and it's like, as annoying as that is, it probably does come from a place of insecurity within her. Maybe her parents aren't nice to her, like, I don't know. I never really understood why people would do this, because especially the fact that she knows maybe you didn't get the same grade and that you have anxiety around your grades and anxiety around school. It's unfair. I think she is placing her need for like a little bit of extra validation above your anxiety, and honestly probably playing on it just a little bit, because the response is going to be there. Like, if she comes out of the test and she's like, oh, I got an A, it's such a bad grade, and you're already someone that's anxious about school and grades, you're obviously going to be like, no, that's a fucking incredible grade. What are you talking about? Like, that's like the dream grade. Like, what are you saying? Why are you crying? This is so ridiculous that you're crying because it's great. It's more gas in her engine, babe. Like, you're literally, she's like tingling right now. She's like vibrating. She's so excited. As a group, stop responding to it, because you know that's a good grade. Okay, it's not like she is genuinely asking. Everyone knows an A is good, okay? And I get it. Maybe she has a lot of pressure coming on her from her home. Maybe there's another contextual factor that I'm not aware of where an A isn't good for her and she needs the A+ or an A++. Is that even a thing? I don't know the American school system. But like, maybe there is an extra stress on her, and maybe she did work her ass off for that A and she's devastated that she couldn't get higher. Maybe she worked her ass off for that A because if she got a B, she would be belittled at home or feel that she's disappointed someone. And maybe when she goes home with that A, her parents are going to be like, okay, like bare minimum. And so the only place she can pull a well done, that's a good grade, and a reaction from is her friends at school. Maybe there's a bunch of different things. I think the best thing that you can do is to maybe find out more. Maybe ask her why she puts so much pressure on herself. You said she studies hard, she memorizes things. I think you quoted like a parrot. Maybe ask her where the pressure comes from. Maybe pay more attention to when she talks about her family. If you know her parents, maybe you can already answer these questions. Think about it. People's behavior doesn't always come from nowhere. Maybe if it's just that she's being annoying and just likes the extra gas, stop giving it to her, because it seems like it's at your detriment. And then hopefully you'll train her out of it, because kind of like a dog, like, you know, Pavlov, when he rings the bell and then feeds the dogs, and now every time they hear a bell ring, they start salivating. If she stops getting the reaction that she's craving from you or your friends, and she'll stop displaying the behavior, you know, train her. But before you do that, figure out why she's doing it. Because then if you figure out, oh yeah, she is under like a lot of stress, and like, yeah, this is the only place she's, you know, hearing this from, then you can tell her well done before she even has to say that she got a bad grade, if that's even possible. I don't know, some people are really difficult. However, don't let her grades ever make you feel like yours are shitty. You said you're lazy and that you procrastinate. Valid. Like, me too. You guys are on your own journeys, okay? You probably have strengths that she doesn't have. Maybe yours aren't school, or maybe they are. A B is still a good grade, by the way. But whatever yours are, doesn't matter. It seems like for her, the be-all and end-all is a grade. Figure out where it's coming from in her. Potentially just work around it. Stop giving the reaction. I know it's annoying. Like, it is the worst thing in the world because it's so fucking invalidating. Like, babe, what the fuck? It's like someone with like C-cup tits being like, my tits are so ugly and small, and you're there with A-cups. Like, rude. You can see my tiny tits. Like, you literally know I have small tits. Why are you saying yours are ugly? Like, what is going on? It's that energy of just like, why the blatant disregard for my feelings, queen? I'm right here. It's hurtful. And it's strange, and sorry, because it's a pain in the ass. It's also the joys of school, though. You got to learn to be around so many different types of people. I believe you can figure it out, whatever it is. But I'm proud of you for getting a B. And by the way, you're not getting ahead of yourself to say that you did well for getting a B. Okay, this one, she wants boy advice. She says, for 6 months, I've been talking to someone. I felt like I was finally going to have the relationship I'd wanted. The relationship I'd wanted forever. With someone I really liked. But now there's been no progress with anything. He's been on and off with me. 1 week we might text all day and night, and the next week there's nothing. And I barely hear from him. I don't know if I've done something wrong or if I've pushed him away too much and he thinks I don't want to be with him anymore. We could be texting all day and night, and the next week there's absolutely nothing. I barely hear from him. I'm scared to keep showing him that I like him if he doesn't reciprocate the feelings anymore. We barely talk in person. I see him around school, but he doesn't even look at me, let alone talk to me. He's friends with all my friends and has no problem talking to them, so it makes me wonder if he's shy or if he's really just keeping a hold of me to make sure I don't leave and find someone new. She says, what do you think is best for me to do? You're not gonna like what I'm gonna say. Get rid of him. I hate him. The fact that he can talk to your friends and not you, he's not shy. The fact that he can talk to you 1 week and not the next, he's not shy. The capability is there sometimes. It's not a question of like capability, it's a question of does he want to. The one thing I've learned about boys in my time on earth is that they just will if they want to. They don't really lead with their heads that much. I mean, sometimes they do. The deep thinker ones, maybe the anxious ones, they lead with their heads. And I don't know him personally. It seems like he's just talking to you when you are convenient for him and maybe when he's bored. And I'm sure that he does still like you, because even just him talking to you every other week, and you know, you say you text all night and all day, I'm sure that he does like you, but for whatever reason, he is incapable of being consistent with those feelings. It seems like it's not a question of capability, because he can talk to you sometimes and he can talk to your friends. It seems more like it's only on his terms when he wants. You're there to maybe entertain him when he's bored or give him some validation if he's feeling a bit down. And if he's talking to your friends at school and you guys are around each other in that sense and he's not talking to you there, I don't know what that is. That's strange. Maybe he's, you know, not bored and he's entertained and he's at school. Maybe he is shy, but he's not too shy to text you sometimes, which is not a thing. Why would he be too scared 1 week and not scared the next? People's feelings can be very complicated, and if I was going to imagine how he felt, it might be that he does like you, but whether he doesn't want to commit to that, or whether he isn't feeling it 1 week and is the next, whatever it is, isn't really worth the back and forth, I think. Whatever it is that puts him there sometimes and takes him away others isn't something you need to be involved with. The main thing is when you're in relationships like that are hot and cold, it messes your nervous system up. And it makes you think way too much about if you've done something wrong or if you are this and you are that. And this stuff is just never about you. It never is. It's not that you're entertaining sometimes and sometimes not. It's that he needs entertaining sometimes and sometimes he doesn't. And rather than you existing as a whole person to him who is there all the time and who has also got needs and wants and feelings. It seems like this relationship is circling more around what's convenient and pleasant for him, which for whatever reason is very finicky and very flaky and not very attractive. The tricky thing about this is when someone texts you all day and all night one week and then the next you're not hearing from them, you might not even fucking like this person that much to begin with, but by now you probably think you do, because now you're thinking about what did I do all the time and like what can I do differently and why doesn't he like me? And it just begs this question of, well, why am I not good enough? Why doesn't he like me? What's going on? And you're confused and you're getting these hits of dopamine and then he's taking them all away, so you feel like you're going through a fucking dopamine withdrawal when he's not messaging you, and creating this like addiction and this kind of need for clarity from you all the time because you're not getting any, you don't know what's going on. That is never gonna be worth it. Like whatever he's giving you when you do speak for a week at a time, I'm sure it's fun. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And for you to feel like shit when he comes over and he speaks to your friends at school and not you, it's embarrassing. I hate that for you. I hate that feeling because you know people are looking at that, and whether or not you're someone who cares about that stuff, he's rude for that. I don't like it. And I'm not saying it is embarrassing for you. I'm saying fuck him. You're not a toy, babe. You don't exist for that man's entertainment purposes. And I think the longer there's like a dynamic like that, the longer it's allowed to be perpetuated, the more you're going to feel like invested in the outcome and need to understand what's going on. And it's definitely dynamics like that which can breed a lot of insecurity in yourself, and it's not worth it. It's never worth it. So you say you're debating whether or not to talk to him about it, and if it's even worth it, or should you just leave things as they are and let what we had dissipate? Why wouldn't you just break up with him? I wish you were on FaceTime right now so I could just ask you, like, why is that not one of the options? I think that if you try and break up with him, my prediction is that he would try and push back on it, because you have been very available to him. Every time that he has sent you a text, you've probably responded. And then when he doesn't want to hit you for a week, you don't blow up on him and you don't freak out, you know? It seems like you're very on his timing, both of you. And I think if suddenly the dynamic shifted and you were like, what about me? Fuck you. I'm going to break up with you now. I feel like he would be like, no, I really like you. What? And that will confuse you even more. So that's my prediction. And if that happens, because I think you should break up with him. Me, like, ruining everyone's lives on this podcast. Break up with your boyfriends, all of you. No, I think that you should be prepared for that outcome if you do try and let things dissipate. Even if the next time he messages you to talk all night or all day, you just don't really give it to him, I think even that will breed a bit of obsession in him. And I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of men are wired this way of like, it's like a cat that's not that interested in playing with the toy if you play with it for too long, but the second you walk away and you don't want to play anymore, they're like, oh, hold on, the fuck? I was just about to play with that. Or like your siblings when you try and get in the shower and they're like, I was just about to get in there. And it's like, no, you fucking weren't. You've been in your bedroom for 6 hours. Low-key, I do the same shit though. So I was planning on getting in the shower 6 hours ago. Now, don't you dare get in there. I think that he will try and repair things if you are the one to allow them to fizzle. So be prepared for that. It doesn't necessarily mean that he is going to change or that he has had this new surge of feelings for you that weren't there before. But I definitely do think that you should walk away from whatever this is, because it doesn't sound like it's it, babe. Don't like it. He sounds boring. He sounds like he's got blonde hair, does he? I can imagine him. Like a Nike backpack, maybe. Hate him. Maybe like a JD Sports one. Oh my God, Sports Direct. Hate. Yeah, get rid of him. I hate him. Oh wait, I see. You're talking to him. He's not your boyfriend. So you can't break up with him. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Sorry, girl. Misread your email. Yeah, stop talking to him. I don't know if he likes you. That's something only he can speak to. But I do know that he doesn't value you or really respect you. And that's all you need to know. Doesn't matter about his feelings for you. People can like you and do crazy shit. People can be in love with other people and punch them in the fucking face. It doesn't matter how they feel about you. It matters how they behave toward you, babe. And he is boring, so leave him. Stop talking to him. That's that. Okay. Today I went thrift shopping at Goodwill. My first time going to a Goodwill. Oh my God, I love it. I'm going to be there every weekend. And I've been driving my new car. Did I tell you guys I got a new car? No, I wouldn't have told you. Oh my God, I got a new car yesterday. So that'll be in my vlog if you want to go watch my recent vlog. I got my baby and I still have the truck Don't panic. It's right there. I can see it right now, but I needed a more responsible car with airbags. Did I ever tell you that my truck didn't have airbags? I feel like I kept that one to myself. Maybe I did tell you. I always forget what I say on here. But like, yeah, it was kind of scary to drive it. So I decided to get a safe car. So I bought myself a normal one. First real car I've ever bought from like a dealership, by the way. Felt very grown up. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this episode of Pretty Lonesome here. I love you guys so much. And I will see you next week. Next week, I think I'm going to talk about things I hate. Is that okay with everyone? I'm going to do a hateful episode. And I made a list today of all the stuff I hate. Number 1, guess what it was? Gnocchi, the pasta. Hate. It's the texture. Don't like it. Okay, I'm done. Love you guys. Mwah. There you go. There's your kisses. Mwah. Have a good week. I love you. Bye.